What's up, my name is TechNumber here for Troubleshoot, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can set up your own local restreaming service where you can stream through OBS or any other software to your own local PC and then have it mirror to as many sites as you want, being Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, etc, anything that accepts an RTMP stream link. So what exactly does that all mean? Well, we'll be jumping into it in just a moment. If you're interested in seeing how this actually works, skip across to the end of the video. Timestamps are in the description down below. However, to start this video, we're just going to jump right into the installation. So to keep things super simple, I'll be showing you how to do this on Windows. Most of the existing guides show you how to do this on Linux, and that brings us to our next topic. If you head across to the download link in the description down below, you'll find a list of NGINX versions. This is what we're going to be downloading, extracting, and using. What we're looking for is this version over here, NGINX 1.7.11.3 Griffin.zip. This was released in March of 2015, and you may be thinking to yourself, it's 2020 currently, why don't we download these versions up here, the Unicorn branch, or anything like that? Well, unfortunately, these newer versions weren't built with the RTMP module in them, meaning that this is the latest version that we can possibly download. Does that have any effect on performance or anything? Well, not really at all. NGINX is a really lightweight piece of software because all it really does is it copies whatever you stream into it and sends it out to as many sources as you want with barely any CPU or GPU load. As long as your internet is more than powerful enough to stream to multiple sources, then the software is going to work for you. If you have any issues using the software, make sure that you have Visual C++ 2010 Service Pack 1 installed. Links to that will also be in the description down below. But of course, don't go ahead and download that and install that. Try it first, and if it doesn't work, try downloading that and then reattempt. So all we have to do is simply click on download 1.7.11.3 Griffin.zip, and we'll wait for the file to download. After the file's downloaded, simply open it up and we'll see something like this. You can use WinZip, WinRAR, or simply the Windows Explorer. All we have to do is simply click Extract All at the top, and we'll be putting it into a folder somewhere nice, like on our desktop. I'll simply click Browse, Desktop, and I'll make a new folder called NGINX. Opening it up, select folder, checking this tick box, and hitting extract. We'll put all of these files from the zip into this folder on our desktop over here. Of course, you can just create one, open it up, select everything, and drag and drop them across as well. So now that we've extracted the zip, here we have our NGINX installation. All we have to do is a bit of config before running the actual software. It's super simple. Simply open up the conf folder up here and locate nginx win.conf. All we have to do is simply copy this and paste it so that we have nginx win copy. Simply rename it to be nginx.conf as such. Hypothetically, if you don't see file extensions, at the very top click View and then File Name Extensions over here. Then all we have to do is open up this config file using Notepad or a similar piece of software. I'll be using Notepad++. Once we have it open, we have a bunch of settings over here. All we have to do is head across to the description down below and copy a piece of text. Then we'll paste it at the very bottom of this file. So I'll make a couple of new lines and paste it in as such. RTMP, server, listen followed by a port, chunk size, application live, live on, record off, and that's about it. Because NGINX is a web server, this is simply just a module that'll take whatever we send to it and mirror it to a bunch of different locations. Because it's a web server, if you're running any other kind of web server on your computer, this will clash with it. All we have to do to solve that is scroll up to the top of the file and find HTTP. Hypothetically, if you are running a web server on your PC, simply scroll down until you see server over here, and change the listen port from 80 to something like 8080 or a different port. And if you're still having issues, you can go ahead and select the entire HTTP block all the way from line 22 all the way down to the end of the file over here just before we paste it in RTMP and removing it completely. That is, of course, only if you're running a different web server on your PC already. All you really need to do is add this RTMP box at the end over here. So once we've done that, we can hit Ctrl+S to save it, and we have our own RTMP server set up. From here, all we have to do is add outputs for this and add it to our OBS config or other streaming software. So let's begin by getting our RTMP stream key from one of our services. This could be YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, etc. For demonstration purposes, I'll be using YouTube. So I'll simply make a new live stream. I'll click Create, followed by Go Live. Then in here, we have our stream key and our stream URL. Usually you'd put these details into OBS or a different piece of software. But because we're going to be streaming into NGINX and then have NGINX streaming to a bunch of different platforms, that's where we need to put it. I'll simply copy the stream URL over here. Then I'll put this window aside and we'll look at the config file again. Under Application Live, Record Off, we'll make a new line over here. We'll simply type in push, add a space, and then we'll paste in the place we're streaming to's RTMP URL as such. RTMP youtube.com/live2. Then for the stream key, all we need to do is add another / and then find our stream key. I'll simply click copy over here from YouTube and paste it into here as such. Then all we have to do is end the line with a semicolon as such. Super simple. To add Twitch, for example, all we have to do is duplicate this line, i.e. enter push RTMP london.twitch.tv / followed by our stream key. And adding a semicolon, now when we go live to this NGINX software, when it's running, we'll stream to YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. Though of course this isn't the real Twitch address, I'll just be demonstrating it with YouTube for now. I'll go ahead and save this file, and we'll add this config to OBS. So bringing across OBS over here, all we have to do is head into the settings. Then we'll head into the stream tab over here, and we'll be adjusting some of the settings over here. Currently, you can see I've got it set up to stream to Restream.io, another free restreaming service. At the top, I'll simply make sure that it's custom, and in here we'll enter RTMP : / followed by the IP address of the computer with the server that it's running on. But of course, to make this extremely simple, if you're running it on the same computer that you're streaming from, all you have to do is enter 127.0.0.1 / live as such. This is the place that we're going to be streaming to. As for the stream key, this could quite literally be anything. I'll enter 123, or you could probably leave it blank. Now that we've got it set up to be this, which you'll also find in the description down below, simply click Apply and OK. So now we've got OBS set up, and we've got our config set up to stream to YouTube and a bunch of other different platforms if you wanted to. All we have to do now is actually run NGINX. So heading back to the config folder, we'll head up one folder and we'll see nginx.exe. Simply double click on this, you'll see a black window and it'll vanish. Don't worry, the program hasn't crashed, it's simply running in the background. All we have to do now is have a look at our live streaming dashboard, and as you can see, I'm currently not live. I'll simply open up OBS and click Start Streaming. At this point, we're streaming to our local RTMP restreaming service, and it'll be sending it out to YouTube, Twitch, as well as a bunch of other platforms. You can see the stream has just gone live, and assuming we had more than just one platform there, we'd be streaming to multiple platforms at once. Waiting for it to load, you can see my desktop over here. We can change the stream settings to be whatever we had originally. Here's the 1440p source version. Super simple. So now we're live on Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, Facebook, a bunch of other different platforms using our RTMP NGINX service. How exactly do we stop streaming? Well, the same way as normal. Simply click Stop Streaming. It's that simple. Once we do that, our connection to YouTube as well as all the other platforms will simply just cut out as if we just stop streaming as normal. There we go. No data, the stream will end shortly unless you restart it in your streaming software. Super simple. So for now, that's basically it, but there's a couple of other housekeeping things that I want to get to before we end this video. If you want to change these settings over here and add another platform, for example, or you simply just want to close NGINX, how exactly do we do that? Well, simply open up Task Manager by hitting Ctrl-Shift-Escape, and then you'll see this as normal. All we have to do is simply look for NGINX. You can see it down here. All we have to do is simply click End Task on every one of these that are showing over here. Though for some people, you won't see NGINX here at all. You'll have to head across to the Details tab and look for NGINX. You can see there's 3 of these EXEs running at once. These are all automatic and started up when we run the first one. In order to restart the program completely and have new settings applied, we need to make sure that every one of these is closed. So we can either end task individually on all of these, or do it from this list over here, or we can automate it from a simple batch file, which is exactly what I'll be doing. Heading back to the NGINX folder over here, I'll simply right-click, New Text Document, and we'll call it, say, stop.bat. As long as you have file name extensions checked, we can delete .text after it, hit enter, and we'll be able to change the file format. Then I'll simply right-click, edit, or open it in Notepad. Then in here, all we have to do is simply tell it to close NGINX when we open this file. I'll simply type in task kill space /f space /im space NGINX.exe space /t. If we hit save and close out of this text file, bring up our task manager and put it across to the side over here, watching these programs, if we simply just right-click on stop.bat that we just created and click run as admin, then click yes when prompted for admin, you'll see that all of the NGINX applications close immediately. Awesome. So now that the program is completely closed, we can adjust settings as we see fit, change the stream keys, etc., and simply open up NGINX when we want to go live again. Now, of course, because this is so lightweight and it's open source as far as I know, you can run this on Linux or even a Raspberry Pi if you wanted, instead of another computer. While we won't be getting into any of that in this video, that is a very easy possibility. Hypothetically, if you'd like this to start with Windows so that you can immediately just click Start Streaming and forget about everything, all we have to do is simply add it to our startup folder. How do we do that? Well, it's pretty simple. All we have to do to get it to start with Windows is to right-click and create a shortcut. Then we'll be putting this in a special location. We'll be putting it in our Start menu's Startup folder, which starts up a bunch of different programs when we open up Windows. Simply hit Start and find any icon on the screen. Right-click on literally anything here, click More, and then open File Location. If everything goes to plan, you should be taken to this address up here. If not, simply try a different icon or manually navigate to this location. See Program Data, Microsoft Windows Start Menu Programs. Then we'll simply scroll until we find the startup folder. Inside of here, simply drag and drop the NGINX.exe shortcut that we just created into the startup folder and click Continue if prompted for admin. If we did everything correctly, the next time that we start up our computer, we should automatically have NGINX starting up as well, and we can simply just start live streaming to it and all of our other platforms right away without any extra hassle. So anyways, hopefully you found this video more than a little useful if you're streaming to multiple different platforms and you'd like to keep away from Restream.io or all of those sites, or you simply just don't want to pay the money to stream to a lot of platforms at once. My name's been Technoba here for Troubleshoot, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao!